Fun.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
It's new podcast time.
New fucking year. Holy shit.
I love that art. I love that the background.
I wanted to make sure you could see it before we get into it.
Is that original art?
That is original art. I drew
That's
this and did not just put words over someone else's art.
the #1 quick sketch podcast. Please ignore the first 2 pages of Google Images.
Please. Oh my god, please do not look at the first 2 pages of Google Images.
Dang, our chat window is like electricity now?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The budget from the awards went up. We got electricity on everything.
Or like half of it, anyway.
Yeah, well,
Re-
here it is. I think.
The wrong
That's
way.
very nice.
I broke one.
Are we reclaiming the Diablo font?
Yes. Yes, we
Nice.
are. Look, I go to edit something and I see the Diablo font and I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm
Exactly.
starting to get it.
Yeah, no, it really does. Like, it starts to click.
Yeah. And it's just like, if someone else were to see it, you'd get excited too. So,
Mm-hmm.
so this week we're talking about embargoes.
Yeah.
I'm playing Hades in the background.
I guess first thing to say should be obvious. We are not breaking any embargoes, and like if we bring you into the channel, please don't do that and get us all in trouble. Or don't
It
even.
might make for an exciting episode if you do, but you'll also probably be permanently banned if you do. So
Mm-hmm.
choose wisely.
It's not what we want to happen, but
Yeah, if it happens,
That's
it'll
showbiz.
certainly be something to talk about.
it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I guess easy enough to start off as the just usually embargo releases are just not posted or talked about in public.
What is an embargo?
That's such a good question.
Yeah, it's just
And how does it pertain to the video game vinyl scene?
Well,
So
I
the
can't claim to
embargo.
know.
You got this one.
Yeah,
It's just like what the U.S. does to Cuba. When I can't post my video game vinyl, it's just like when we stop Cuba from trading with our allies. It's the same thing.
Yeah, you don't. You're not allowed to get those social media points, and you're usually not allowed to trade or sell or buy those types of releases. They're not supposed to be
Can't
talked
show
about.
them off. What's the
Mm-mm.
point? I'm seeing it's a move in Pokemon, so
I had no idea. I thought that's enlarge. Isn't that a Pokemon move?
maybe they both are.
Hey,
Oh.
there's some Pokemon that make me enlarge, if you know what I'm saying.
Enlarge.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Number
We'll
one.
save the sexualizing of Pokemon for later.
Number one Vaporeon podcast on the net. But yeah, an embargo means you can't talk about it, you can't show it online, but within the small group that you might have got it from or purchased it from, that's about them's the breaks for talking sharing. And selling trading as far as the group rules tend to go. Or the release rules, rather.
Yeah, what's the point? Sometimes I forget what the point is.
Of an embargo?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to wait. I don't know. I don't claim to know every person's motivation. Some people
Yeah, I think it's probably different
want it.
for every label.
Not want it, but some people like make sure they want to have it in everyone's hands before getting it to second parties, you know, because shipping across this big world can take forever if you're in Australia or something.
Stray. Yeah. So, thank you for the Vaporeon bits.
I will say that when embargoes are lifted, it is pretty obvious versus when like a regular, like a non-embargo release is like shipping out. I
Yeah.
don't know if people really don't know. I feel like people can tell. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there.
I mean, yeah, because typically you'll see it posted everywhere, and then the ISOs come out all at once, as opposed
Mhm.
to a more gradual showing of something. A lot of people tend to have their stuff at the ready. Thank you for the bit smile,
Mhm.
buddies. Um,
Yeah, there's no real like some random person happens to get it first, so they post it, and then a lot of people in the comments saying can't wait to get mine. Usually everyone's has already gotten theirs.
that's kind of been a meme a little bit too. Can't wait to get
Mhm.
mine.
Didn't get much votes in the cringiest or funniest moments. I can't
No,
remember.
but still.
Sometimes you really can't wait to get yours. That's fine.
But should you wait?
But but yeah, usually when it's like 4 or 5 like high profile accounts posting it all at the same day, probably within the same hour, you can kind of tell that there was a coordinated um, drop per release. I think they're
Maybe
very. I think it's
Time to
very
message
different.
every one of your medbers. Embargo's gonna break in 2 minutes. Get your
Now.
posts ready, everybody. You better
you,
fucking post, everybody.
you up your drafts. I mean, maybe it's kind of nice when it is a coordinated date for people who aren't in the group because then there's more people who have it who might be willing to let go of it.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, if there's no embargo and it's just trickling in, people have to rely on like the 1 or 2 people who may have received it, and
Mhm.
then those 1 or 2 people have more like power and can potentially like take more advantage of people
That's
because
true. Yeah.
it might be perceived as more scarce in that time
Mhm.
frame, you know. So maybe it's good in that regard. I don't know if that's like a reason anyone uses,
I
but
don't know
I
if it's
just
that common, but it certainly is probably something to think about with
I
it.
had I had been thinking about that recently in terms of that Power Rangers release because I have not received mine yet, and I know many people hadn't for a little while, but people were feeling like it was especially hard to find a copy of, and it may be, but I think it was probably even harder than it maybe should be because many hadn't made it out yet, or a handful hadn't made it out yet. So I don't know. That just made me think about that the other day as like a possibility of an effect that an
Yeah.
embargo has.
Mhm.
Real quick, Dub PX in chat, PHX, brought up a thing. Are there any examples of someone breaking embargo and it causing chaos? I would say the ray gun one kind of did.
Mhm.
I
Wait,
don't know if it
but
was
by by
chaos.
by breaking embargo, do you mean the
Like
embargo lifting or it actually being broken, like
that is a good
against
Yeah.
the
good
rules?
question as far as that. But even still,
To me, breaking embargo means it was still supposed to be embargoed,
hmm
and it
Mhm.
was posted like quote unquote against the rules, versus like the lift date. But um,
The whole
yeah,
embargo thing is so fucking interesting because it creates like so many different waves out of it, and it's used in so many different ways. That shit is fucking weird. The
yeah.
embargo, like, it created all the first poster drama.
Mhm.
People who
Oh
like
yeah.
rush to break like right when the embargo's up, like to be the first to post, and like there's a lot of drama like revolving that. So like I could say that's a negative that comes out of
Mhm.
the embargoes.
like
Oh
the
yeah.
clout chase that
The
comes from
cloud
it.
chasing, yeah.
Yeah,
I do recall that yeah
That's
that
another good
some.
question. Someone asking about perma embargoes.
Mhm. I remember some people. I think it was causing chaos when like some people have gone to Discogs to upload embargoed information. Like I think like before Mickey was posted online, and like before Echo the Dolphin was really posted in on Instagram pages and Facebook and whatnot. Like, and I think Diddy Kong Pilot was there too, and like
Diddy Kong was on Discogs well before I think the embargo was
I
technically
think that
supposed to be over.
I think those caused a little bit of chaos, you know, because like people are seeing things and they can't talk about them, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I don't know. Is it
cause for great
so
frustration.
that makes me think? Is it people's jobs who aren't in the group to not talk about it? You know, like that's not anyone's fault if you're not aware of the embargo. Like,
No, yeah.
you can't
Well, it
really be
requires
like,
that you're like customers like follow. You're like kind of putting your customers out with the embargo.
A little
Mhm.
bit.
But it is the nature of the scene and how like things are secretive and a lot of
Yeah.
people respect and maybe even blindly respect. But there's a lot of
well,
respect for labels out
y-
there.
but yeah, like, I guess the point is, like, does it achieve anything? Like, first, what are some of the things it sets out to achieve, and does it actually achieve any of them? I think that's
Well,
worth considering. You know.
I think a good part of that to consider is I think part of the embargoes are to like curb people from like selling and trading like early on for like high ticket items. But does it curb that, or does it just drive that information to DMs and stuff like that?
Right.
A short-term embargo perpetuates FOMO, and a permanent embargo
And with some
destroys. You can't even have FOMO with a permanent embargo because you literally
right.
don't even know it fucking exists.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, but there's also like they were saying of does it just make it go into the DMs instead?
Mm-hmm.
But is that risky? Because now you're breaking your rules.
Yeah, I think that's
Probably.
also part of what embargoes do, is they give creators the ability to kind of figure out who's being shady and untrustworthy with their stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting sold something secondhand, and a creator comes to you and like asks like, "How did you find out about this?" Like
Who done it?
they have no reason to defend the person who might have scalped them a release, you know?
Their best friend.
Yeah, unless
They
they
don't
are
want
best. So it's like it's a very risky move to break embargoes in DM. I think it can get you ousted from a lot of places.
What if it isn't scalped to them?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
That is the
I
fish.
mean, yeah,
Still breaks the embargo though.
mhm.
I mean,
That
if
does make it a lot more difficult, because I don't think that it would be as easy to police in that sort.
It's such a weird dynamic, the embargo.
Mm-hmm.
Because is it like helping the people in your group who don't want to see it yet, or is it like driving up scarcity, or is it permanent and
to.
like blocking anybody from ever knowing about it? Like, are they only concerned about sales? Because I would say a permanent embargo, from what I heard, sells way less. Doesn't matter what the title is, it sells way less because, like it or not, like a huge chunk of the scene doesn't open their fucking vinyl. A
yeah,
huge chunk of the scene only collects them like they're video games and keeps them on a shelf. Like a huge part of the scene only buys to sell. A lot of people buy two and then sell the other one so they get their copy for free. There's so many like different variations of why people buy, and the permanent embargo like doesn't satisfy the needs of a lot of them. So you're really only getting people who are one gonna listen to it.
yeah.
Because otherwise, there's no monetary value because there's no market for it because no one knows about it.
I mean, there's a lot of this scene has shown the importance of like you're showing it off, you're putting it on Instagram, or just even showing that you got it. I guess, and that's a big part of the process with them. And
One
so,
positive.
Someone's talking about that it can't be discussed, so it does nothing to build the community, which is true. But I don't think it negates the buy and sell trade. Isn't what the whole community is based off on. I would say it's the collecting, and the buy and sell trade is part of it. But I do say it's like one of the most toxic parts, and it really doesn't build the community because you're using people for monetary value. You know what I mean? It's not like you're just making friends. Like a lot of it is ulterior motives, and like you're buying and selling to get attention, to get into the groups, or to get simps in your pocket. If you sell to someone, majority of the time, if someone brings you up, you're gonna be like, "That guy was nice to me. He sold me
Yeah,
this for a good
yeah,
price." You know what I mean? So a
it
lot
goes
of it is
far.
like ulterior motives when it comes to that, and I don't actually consider that part of building the community. I see more like how like the lathe side of it, everybody's helping each other create lathes. I see is like that's more the community, the more of like the showcasing the release, which helps your point. I do believe there's no showcasing the release if it's permanent embargo, but I think the more you could tell if a release is going to drive people crazy or not. There's a difference between like a Wind Waker and a Uniracers. So I think a label can
Yeah.
put out
just a
90% of
small difference.
releases with no embargo, but maybe they should consider like a really high release that's really going to get people to like. We've seen some people say some crazy ass shit because they didn't get a release, like how they're so depressed and stuff. And maybe like a really, really high release, just perma it. No one needs to know it's out, and then they don't have to feel bad.
Yeah, there's definitely enough releases in the community where like it's at this point where it's okay, I think, for some to be permanently embargoed. Yeah, it wouldn't be healthy if every release, I don't think, was, because then like
Well, like Cody said, there wouldn't even be a scene then.
right, exactly.
Just
But
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're at a point where there's enough, I think, where it's like it's not harmful if they are occasionally. But how would we know if they are permanently embargoed? Is there even any
What do you
permanently
know?
embargoed record?
How do we know a perma embargo even exists?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just theorizing about something that's never even happened. As far as I know.
Right.
No, I think that's all really good points. One thing, I think Pico mentioned it briefly, that I think is like unequivocally positive is embargoes for the sake of allowing everyone to see their copy or like their little extra that comes with the release, so it's not spoiled for them. I think that's
just
good.
the most normal, most common type of embargo.
Yeah, I
too.
think that's good and cool and nice for people to be able to have.
Yeah, because it sucks.
that's
Like
usually
some people get sent last, or Australia gets it so fucking late.
Yeah.
Yeah, embargoes like that, they don't even usually last a month. So those are
No, I feel like a lot of the time.
positive for the group.
They don't even last probably till some people get it, like Australia. Sometimes a lot of the times.
No.
IP living in Australia, I cannot imagine collecting the scene living down there. I was thinking about customs the other day too, because someone was posting about customs in Maine, maybe a newer user,
Yeah.
and I was like, God, if I had to pay like that much on every release, that's fucking terrible.
Every release, even like a 1 LP, is like $100.
I
And then
Yeah,
it's like the label's like a money label, and like American people are like, $80 is so much. Like for Australia, you're paying like 120 for like a 140 gram fucking 1 LP with like shit art. It's wild. Taking a chance at buying like random releases in Australia has got to be tough.
Yeah.
We commend our Australian BGF collectors. I
Yeah,
know there's a few of you out there. I know there's at least 5 very, very active ones.
they deserve to get to see their releases in person for the first time. Shouts out to them.
One day.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna bring in fish if that's all right with
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah,
absolutely.
new year, new fish, new eel. I mean, Hey, Tyler, you're
The
on.
fish.
Hello.
I've got a question right off the bat for you.
Sure.
If there is an embargoed release and you aren't aware of it, but 20 people start posting it in the same day, does that make it feel more hopeless to you that you can actually get the release, or is it
I would
any
say it depends on the people
more?
posting it.
Uh-huh.
If the same 20 people are the same 20 people that are in every single group and have access to everything and will have perma embargoed and non-perma embargoed, I go, okay, this might be difficult. But if it's like, I don't know, Joe Schmo on me, and I'm like, oh, so this is like getting into hands. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if Frank and Josh Tyler Ford are posting stuff, I'm like, okay, they have everything. Like
This is
means
expected.
nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, throwing so much shade at the big collected. No.
No,
They're in
it just like
everything.
it just doesn't tell you like how difficult or hard it'll be.
No.
Yeah,
That's like it doesn't tell like it doesn't really give you an idea.
No. But like I said, if it's some person I've never heard of on Maine that's, pretty new to the community, I'm like, okay, well, there's a fair chance that either like this person knows the creator or there's some sort of ability to get this, which is nice.
Because that's always been a little bit of my worry, is just like I can see it being fairly daunting for someone who like this is a release they love and like everyone is posting it, and maybe like a good number of them are friends you talk to, and it's just like it might make you feel left out of things, and like, I think that is a negative consequence of some embargoes,
Yeah. And I remember that feeling when I was new, and it was about
Yeah.
the Breath of the Wild releases, and even though I don't particularly care about the games, it was just like the amount of people posting like, oh, mine are coming in soon. It's like, well, you guys have everything, so why not keep getting everything, I guess. It gets really hopeless.
You're right.
I would say that the most drama-causing release was the whole set. Like in
Oh my god.
every like layer of
People thinking they're done.
people,
and it's
yeah.
good, and
for
then
sure.
a new one pops up, and they're like, "What the fuck? I thought we were done with this."
Yeah.
Ray gun was pretty high up there too,
Yeah.
as far as drama, because that was people like feeling shitty because they had lost money from
Yeah.
in the
Well,
first place.
They felt, I think, like it rubbed it in their face. The people who got ripped off by ray gun but didn't have a chance to buy the ray gun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and some
So it was
people
like,
thought
what the
it
fuck?
was. Some people thought it was the actual ray gun release,
Right.
and like they were like, "Wait, are they shipping?" And like there were so
Like-
many layers to that.
Sorry, buddy. This was a joke that went. It's funny, haha. And they're like, not to
Yikes.
me.
Very sedge.
Yeah, that one was rough because it was like people who were here for the original one got so left out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, as someone who wasn't here for Raygun, I was just like, okay, another Mario 64. This is really funny.
Yeah.
It was at least nice there was another Mario 64 that was like obtainable, that like
Yeah.
obviously a money label put out, and just like put out so many variants.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
think it couldn't be funny too many more times, but I think given like the embargo date of and everything, that was like a good like one-time usage of that sort of embargo, and it ended up being pretty funny. But if it happened like a bunch, it'd probably be kind of shitty.
if we just kept getting more Mario 64 presses, I think it'd be really funny.
Let's see another one.
Like, yeah, we just keep putting them out. We got 5 of them now, 6 of them. And it's the same cover.
Let's go
And that
again.
was
I
like-
want one that's just Dire Docs on repeat
Yeah.
with like
Yeah, man.
Mario sayings in the background.
2 LP.
Oh hell yeah.
This
And that
one's
was
the
like
same
the
as Raygun.
second. That was the second like chaotic April Fool's Day event in a row.
Oh, yeah.
On the Facebook group, because the first was the Crash Bandicoot thing.
Wow, Crash Bandicoot debacle of April Fools. That is some fucking blast from the past.
Yeah,
A little oopsie.
just a little.
for those of you that don't know, someone made a fake Big Cartel with a fake Crash Bandicoot release they had been like teasing all month, but then took sales from it, and it was this whole drama surrounding it.
They took sales, but the price was like incredibly high, right?
was like
Yeah.
$700 or something
Yeah.
because they didn't think anybody was gonna buy it or anything, and someone bought it before the sale went up. Like they didn't lock their Big Cartel. It was like open while they were editing it.
Oh my god.
The person got refunded right away, and it was like whatever. But it's like a lot of funny lore surrounding it now, and like all Crash releases, because like to this date, like not a one good Crash release has come out, so it's cursed.
No
It's
curse.
VGM fucking cursed. Don't do a fucking Crash release. It's fucking cursed.
Worst mistake of my life. Crash Bandicoot.
The TPs were very cool. They went all out on building those boxes. I have to admit, those were so cool to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
I think second runs, someone asked about second runs. I think second runs don't happen because, like, why put the time and effort into something again when you can just do something new?
Yeah.
You know, it's like almost like a waste of time because
There's so much
technically
you
you're
could
pressing
do.
for yourself, so you already own it. Like, most labels will press what they want, and then it's cheaper to press a ton of them, you know, and just sell the other ones. So technically, you get your release for free. So, like, in that aspect, why do another one when you could just get another album that you want and put the work into that?
And also,
Yes.
I think there's some psychology involved of like, if there is a second run of a release, it's not like everyone's searching for it, right? Like some people search out of scarcity, and so if something's more regularly available, it might be
I
less
think it makes sense to
inclined.
come back to it like a couple years later if you're like a
Yeah.
label and your
Yeah.
very first release that was like no lumbers, and like your group size is double that, and so many people are still searching for it. Like, why not just do another like small run of it, and like
Mhm.
so you can guarantee that all new people are getting it. But then does the label even care? Because money, 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 money.
The
I
way
heard if
I
you say
always had it.
crash in the mirror 3 times, the boot will appear.
That fucked up
There's-
gatefold.
You still have a couple more Crash games that. Well, there's plenty of actually Crash games, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Crash Team Racing, fingers crossed for that.
Crash is cursed, do Spyro instead. Then slide in my DMs and offer me a test press.
But only if the cover looks bad.
Sometimes bad covers are really endearing.
I
and
know.
I'm very on the fence about that.
I was just saying that about the Beatles Rock Band. It's so
Oh,
bad.
did you end up getting that?
Yeah.
The back of the
It,
sleeve was
it
awesome.
looks
Oh
so
my
bad, but
God.
it's so good.
It's like hilarious. I just never thought someone would do something like that. It's just this really dark image and dark text over it.
Like, it done in MS Paint shit.
Awesome.
Absolutely wonderful.
I wish the guy who made those was part of the scene.
Same.
Put out more records, please.
It's only cool if they're trying though, because I feel like the Sims cover was like trying to actually make it shitty and be like ironic, and it was just fucking stupid. It only would have been funny if they thought it was good.
Genuine.
Because then it's just an edgy, stupid joke. Like, you can do your cover of anything and people will buy it.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting. Me and Alex were talking a little bit about this earlier when you guys mentioned the topic, and someone that was in the voice chat with us had mentioned that like if there was a Spyro release that was embargoed permanently, and he didn't know about it, and like someone broke embargo, and he wasn't included, it would like crush him, just because it was like excluded, and he had hoped for it for so long. What do you
Yeah.
guys think about that? Where it's like
I could
you
relate
have
to that really hard because I would be in the same position if like an embargo, permanent embargo. I found out about a permanent embargo of Spyro. I'd be like, no, No. No. Who hid this from me?
Yeah, just like the inability to grab it because you can't ISO it. It's just there, and it's like, well, that's
Yeah.
awful feeling.
Do
So,
you think? I mean, what? So if you ISO something that's permanently embargoed, but you're not in the group, I guess you're just essentially making work for the admins. But that's not
Yeah.
really your. It's not really your problem immediately.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know what the. I mean, I'm not trying to make work for myself in the
Permanent
Discord,
embargoes
but
definitely is more work for the staffs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember back in the day, someone had found the Diddy Kong Pilot Discogs page, and that was maybe a year before people really started talking about it, or just a while, months basically. And someone was like, ISO Diddy Kong Pilot, and people were like, what? That exists? Blah, blah, blah. And someone was like, pull the post, don't talk about that, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And someone came to the person came to my DMs, they're like, dude, what? It's on Discogs, it's been on there for a while. Like, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I've only been here for like 3 months.
So funny. Kirby's Dream Land got like the press pictures from the plant like shown like months before the vinyl came out.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Interesting.
stuff like that. Like, if we're talking stuff like that, like the Breath of the Wild lo-fi ended up on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
before.
That was another one.
And
I
it's
don't
just,
know
it's
what
just confusing for
I don't know
everyone,
what happened there.
mod
Like if
teams
something
included.
appears, if something appears publicly and someone like points to it, it's like, what do you do about that? Very, very sticky.
Yeah, I remember Breath of the Wild or Lo-Fi for that one coming out because that was on eBay and someone had posted it asking like what, and then I don't remember who it was. One of the mods deleted it immediately,
Yeah.
and it was just like,
The fuck was that?
don't do that. They're like, but what did I do? They're like, it's perma embargoed, but
It is a tough situation with the whole.
yeah, like what do you
What
tell
do I
people
do?
even?
I know
And-
about it now. Who can I talk to?
And realistically, like if something's perma embargoed, what's stopping like someone who's gonna go to eBay immediately anyways from just putting it on eBay and getting rid of that?
So someone
eBay's
asked,
not gonna pull
couldn't
it.
another label just make a release of something that's permanently embargoed and nobody would be
Yeah,
able to talk about
absolutely.
the fact?
Yep.
Labels talk to each other though.
I don't know. It feels like not all of them. Especially whenever
Even
like,
if like the new labels that are pieces
Okay.
of shit comes out, and they're gonna do something, a million people will message the label who is doing it or did it.
yeah.
DMs, everything runs rampant in DMs.
But I guess that raises
Where there are
that-
rules outside of DMs, there are no rules inside of DMs.
I guess that is a different question though. Is does it matter that there'd be two? Like, this will be the one that's off embargo, and would that make
just
the
depends
one
on the new
embargo go
label.
off embargo?
I think it just depends on if the new label would want to do it then.
Mhm.
Because some labels don't want to do other releases that are already
Yeah.
out because it's absolutely pointless. Because
But-
once again, it's all about making one for the creator. They don't. These creators don't make them for the community. They're not like, I really want to do this and give everybody these vinyls. No, it's major stress. They're like, I really want this release on vinyl. I don't want a fucking lathe, so I'm gonna do the release and then sell the rest. So it's
Yeah, the two options are pretty much someone who really wants it for themselves, so they're going through the effort to make it free for themselves by selling it, or they want money and they do those are pretty much the two routes as far as I'm concerned. It's like either it's a passion project for themselves to fulfill their own wish, or they're just trying to make money off of it. I don't really see a third reason why someone would do this and get into bootlegging a soundtrack.
I guess though, like, since if they didn't know about it,
which is very, very, very unlikely.
well, what if
they
it's like
wouldn't hear about it.
100? So like, and it's hard to get, and they're just like, well, I want to do my own.
What about if they're for the people though?
Yeah, our release.
There's so many layers to it, but believe me, a million people are gonna message that person being like, "Someone already did it. Why don't you just get a copy?" I don't believe that a label, unless they were so disconnected from everybody, they literally had no one that knew a label or anything, and they weren't really in the community, which then it really wouldn't even matter at all. But I think if they're in the community, they have a chance to get it. They will find out about it
Yeah.
for sure, even if it's permanent embargo. You got to know there's a bunch of pieces of shit. Let's say theoretically there is permanent embargo vinyl about someone already fucking sold it. Someone already fucking traded it. They're probably
Mhm.
all over DMs. Like, people are fucking pieces of shit.
No,
Oh,
not
It
not in the
it was
vinyl
brought.
communities.
The people I trust here are like, I could count on my fucking fingers.
Yeah, Joey.
Because all it takes is one-off comment in a DM.
Yeah,
You know what I
really.
mean?
To the
Mhm.
wrong person, and it's all over.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even in DMs. I feel like I've noticed sometimes when things are embargoed, someone will make a post publicly that's like kind of like eyeing the like. Wouldn't it be crazy if this came out?
Sometimes it's a little too obvious
Ooh,
when something's
advertising.
happening.
or when some of the select start stuff was being redone,
Yeah.
and
We
people
got
would
an ad right now, so let's get some
tell some
bonus
funny
content.
jokes.
Yeah,
This podcast brought to you by electricity and Grubhub.
Grubhub.
the new Big Mac's embargoed. Further notice.
Please do
Land,
not.
sea, and air was a permanent embargo.
Or
For the
ordering
record, I
off.
think permanent embargo only works with really, really high sought-out titles, like something like a Chrono Trigger. Like a Cooking Mama, I don't know if that needs a permanent embargo.
What if?
Okay, but
What about the
what if someone?
number?
Yeah, like what if someone made a perma embargo for some shit like hurdy-gurdy? Like, who's gonna
Well, then
like
would anybody even really care?
exactly? So it would work.
That? Oh.
Didn't Ogre Battle have?
But the whole point is to quell the FOMO, and would there be any FOMO for hurdy-gurdy?
Thank you
Did
for the
No.
Ogre
sub, Joey.
Battle supposedly have a permanent embargo?
Which one?
Was Ogre Battle supposed to have a permanent embargo?
I don't remember. That label runner was
I don't
absolutely
know.
insane.
I thought maybe it was, but like
It was supposed to be all TPs. He's like, fuck a
Right.
pressing.
What?
It's gonna be a whole run of TPs. That was Ogre Battle.
Huge.
Now we know.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, Fish. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being our first guest.
Amounts of what?
The
Like
year.
amounts of final releases? Like the run numbers?
Yeah, I think that's probably what that comment means.
Thank
Is
But
you,
I
should
think,
Fish.
I think we're gonna bring someone
Thanks
else
for
on.
having
but yeah,
me. I'll see you
Thanks
guys
for
next
coming on.
time.
We always
Yeah.
Bye,
appreciate
Fish. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think run numbers are going to become public knowledge like all across the board anytime soon. I don't think that's very likely.
Some care, some don't care.
Yeah.
But
Some
the
people
thing,
number their releases, so it doesn't matter.
someone says it help with ISO hunting, but like the creators aren't really concerned with that in most cases. It's not
Creators
really,
literally don't give a fuck about the
yeah.
customers.
They have no reason to worry about like people trying to get it secondhand.
Yeah.
Beyond like maybe making rules to not scalp secondhand, but like it's they. I just don't really see a reason why like they would be motivated for that.
I'm gonna bring in Dan. I don't
Hear
see
from
him
Dan.
in the discussion all that often. Thought I'd get his opinion on some things. Hey, Dan.
Hi.
It's Dan time.
What do you think about embargoes?
What's your favorite embargo?
Ooh, probably the KFC Double Downer or Decker or whatever it was called.
That was a good one.
Ordering off the embargo menu at Jamba Juice.
The VGM secret menu.
that would be so much more appealing if it was called that.
Oh my god. Let's make that push. The secret menu.
Oh, we couldn't even
I'll
talk
take
about it.
Pokemon, but a
Yeah.
2 LP, please. I know it's not on the
Make it-
menu, but
Yep.
let me
Make
get
it
it.
float and put it on French toast.
It's no longer called on embargo. It's called on the secret menu.
Mm-hmm. How do you order off the secret menu? No one knows.
That's funny. I like that.
We have fun, I think.
We have fun here.
I hope.
I'm really fucking high, so I'm having a good time. Talking mad shit.
I didn't know I was supposed to prepare by getting high.
I mean,
Oh yeah, always.
it is that kind of podcast.
I'm perma high.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you're high
Actually, my
embargoed,
status
so-
of if I'm high or not is embargoed, so please
embargoed.
don't talk about
Yeah.
it.
Sorry. It's on the secret menu now.
It's on the secret menu. Yeah, that's right.
You know, I like embargoes in that sense. To a degree, I don't like the permas, but I enjoy having one for highly or potentially high sought after ones,
Hmm.
just to keep the public like from going crazy on day one. If like someone just posts it as soon as it arrives, and then you've got like I don't know 200, 300, 400 people all posting up ISOs when this one guy has it because he's in cahoots with his mail lady at his local town, and he brings her like Subway hot dogs or something,
That
to get
sounds
the mail
nice.
early.
Do they have hot dogs at Subway?
I don't know. Actually, they do, but it's on the secret menu, so you gotta.
The secret
Yeah.
menu.
No one asked, don't tell.
You gotta give her
Yeah,
a Depot dog. Hot, fucking Home Depot is the best hot dogs.
That's right.
Yeah, so I enjoy it in that sense. I think it does well to quell it, and then if it's an embargo up to a certain day, at least there will be an amount of copies, and this is all dependent as well as if it's a release that has multiple copies out there and not something that's very exclusive. But in that situation, I think an embargo for a short amount of time for copies to arrive to people's houses is nice.
Sometimes I
R.I.P.
feel-
Depot dogs. I just had a Depot dog like a week ago. They're still out there.
Is that real? I don't even know.
I can't tell.
Yeah, you can seriously get a hot dog at Home Depot. Is that not by you guys?
I
No.
don't think so.
I'm not
No,
gonna.
no
Local.
fucking way that you guys don't have Depot dogs at your Home Depot.
You're gonna make me go to Home
I
Depot
have-
for the hot dogs.
There's a hot dog stand outside of my Home Depot, but it's like its own thing, I think. But
Yeah,
it's like
like-
seems like
It's
it's just
real.
Chicago only.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I am shocked. Fucking shocked.
I don't know who's doing
Yeah,
the
it's only
gaslighting
Chicago.
here.
oh wait,
Dude
no.
with the
So
cart.
okay, so I think it's just carts. It's like food carts out front of Costco's. Is that what yours are like, Pico?
You can get
My Home
hot dogs
Depot, like
front of
in the
here
exit
inside of
before you
Costco's.
leave the building, has like a huge hot dog stand
Oh
at
no.
like
So
every Home Depot.
all the ones I've seen are like outside. They're like, but they're like third party companies. They aren't Home Depot related, but they are like directly like attached to the outer wall of the Home Depot. Not attached, but like parts on the outer wall of Home Depot. So maybe it's just how they do it out west or something.
Yeah,
Weird.
we don't get shit here on
Maybe
the
because
East
it's
Coast.
cold. It's cold. They have them inside. Because I don't think it's like labeled like it's not called Home Depot dog, but they have hot dogs and everybody calls them the Depot dogs.
Wagyu beef hot dogs at Home Depot. That's crazy.
You get a Mexican Coke, a bag of chips, get a fucking Depot dog, a bunch of lumber, some
Nice.
tools and shit. Feel like a real fucking man.
Forget about it. That does make me feel like a man. That's true.
This podcast brought to you by Home Depot Dogs, the number one video game vinyl snack
Order
We
them
had
on Grubhub.
on the secret menu of Grubhub.
We had a Home Depot pun, didn't we? For one of our sponsors a long time ago?
Yeah.
I forget what it was. Remember
I
when you
don't
used to do
know.
sponsors? That was crazy.
That was.
The videos,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
the sponsors they abandoned us. They moved on to bigger, better investments.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Gotta respect it.
Absolutely.
Now
That's-
it's just us and Grubhub.
Yeah, we're stuck with Grug.
Honestly, just dreaming about Depot dogs right now. Should have left him on embargo.
The whole chat's on the depot dog.
Do you all think low run releases, like I know you can't tell a label what to do, but do you all think low run releases would be better suited for embargo statuses? Just simply because they are incredibly difficult to find, and the people that would get rid of them are people that would overly inflate their prices. So if those are the only options for you, like why not just have it embargoed so that
Do you mean like theoretically, should there
yeah,
be a mandatory
yeah,
embargo on everything like 100 or below?
yeah, a mandatory minimum of 250 before it's a public release or something like that.
I don't know. I think that
I
is not cool. And I don't think. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't think that should be like. I think that should be up to the labels. I don't know.
no, I absolutely. That's why I said I know you can't control that, but like, would it benefit the community if there was that theoretical thing?
My answer remains personally. I don't think so.
The more people hate, the more you police. The more you police, the more
Yeah.
people hate it.
That's true.
Fuck the police.
That's also true.
And if I know
The man-
anything from being the group expert on prices for 10 minutes in the main is people get really fucking mad when you try to police.
But man, it's gotta hurt if you're a label creator and you did a small release for a number of people, and then you see someone trying to sell it for $500 or the trading equivalent of $500.
Yeah.
Well, then you're just a fucking idiot for selling it to them. Because honestly, like, if you're doing a low run of 100, most likely, like, you're someone like very involved and active in the community, and like, if you don't know by now who's gonna fucking scalp your shit and who isn't gonna scalp your shit, then you fucking deserve that. I think lately there's less curation. There's a lot of fake ass fucking people in the community right now. A lot of shitty hustlers that are in DMs that are saying dumb shit, doing fucking dumb shit with, and then getting vouchers, just gathering whole fucking groups of simps, and it's getting fucking outrageous almost. But
Yeah,
I
and
think we should bring back the curation of groups, and I believe you could find 100 people that won't scalp your shit. So if you're getting your out of 100 scalped, you're dumb as fuck.
I do think that, well, Joey mentioned in the text chat, I don't think an embargo would stop someone from flipping a 100 release. I think that's very true.
Oh yeah, that stuff spreads in
Someone
DM.
wants
So
it,
that
wants to flip it, they will flip it. But I would say that maybe for those small run releases, you wouldn't get unsolicited DMs trying to make you an offer you can't refuse for something like that. 'Cause I think we all, might eventually have a price point.
Yeah.
my DMs are open to prices I can't refuse.
Wasn't Harvest Moon 64 out of 100?
I don't recall ever seeing. I saw I think on the postcards they were numbered, but I don't remember if they had like.
Because
The
those
bonus.
moves, I've seen those switch hands so many times. I feel like so many people bought them who didn't want it, and like I've seen it move so much For someone's confirmed it's out of 100. So for like out of 100, I've seen like at least 10 or 15 move. That's a lot
Mm-hmm.
for an out of 100 to be moving. Like, I feel like people felt obligated to buy it. Maybe I don't know.
I always felt that, or I guess I always assumed that group or label owners had like a method to curating, and it always
did
came
at one
as like
point.
a trial and error kind of thing. Like you find someone that's got their shit and boot them into heaven and then try again with a new smaller group.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them
But
just
if
don't
you're not
care
doing
anymore.
that,
It's
yeah,
you got to
it's
sell
like,
out your release. Like you'll find more and more releases being sold in guest sales. Well, that's a pure indication that they couldn't sell out in their own group. And once you can't sell up in your own group, curation goes out the fucking window. Because like if you hate like 10 people and they're not in your group, but then because you have to sell out, you sell a guest sale, and those 10 people you hate are in the other group, and you're just like, fuck it. I gotta sell out to do another release. So that's why you see curation. Like it's the labels that don't care if they sell out, that don't care about the money. As long as you break even and you can do another release, then like what does it even matter at that point?
yeah, I was gonna say, because is that due in part to the release itself? Like, if you're booting stuff that maybe won't be as desirable versus like something, I don't know, like another Zelda, um,
Well,
or do you
totally.
care
I mean,
more?
some releases only need 100. Then like no one's really gonna buy that shit. But you shouldn't
It's kind of
like rush to
that
sell
speaks
it.
to
I
the
feel
bubble,
like
right?
you know what I mean. Like if you're curating your group, there's no reason to have a guest sale. The whole guest sale negates the whole point of a curation.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, but then there's also the point of how nice the guest sale is for newer um, members of the community who aren't maybe in all the groups who happen to catch like a guest sale and then feels really nice.
Yeah.
I'd say it definitely benefits some people, but who it benefits the most is the label.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess in order to sell out.
If you have people you don't want to sell to during a guest sale, you can always just block them too.
Ooh.
In
Or refund
theory.
them.
Oh, the refund's good. That's spicy.
Ooh. Now we
Getting
know.
Some of the most
refunded.
hated people in the community have proxy buyers anyway, so it's like really hard.
I'm taking notes for my label profile.
Yeah. Just remember, kids, if you want to build your simps, copy and paste your message to like 50 people. Increase your chances out there.
All right.
I'm saying it
Let's-
right now. I'm offering 3 depot dogs for every simp I can put under my belt.
That's a
That's
pretty.
a good rate.
deal. That's a good deal.
And yeah.
I'm gonna bring Joey
Slide
and
into my
give him
DMs.
opinions on the embargo debacle.
That's a zombie.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why the dumb thing makes me laugh.
I am zombie.
Hi, zombie.
Glomps you?
Get rid of him.
And just to
No, no,
clarify for the
no.
chat, I'm not saying that guest sales are a bad thing at all. I'm just saying guest sales negates the point of a curated group.
Counterintuitive.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Once you open it up to the other groups, no, you can't curate 2 people's groups, so you're obviously going to be selling to people you didn't want in your group, so.
Yeah, just the whole point of a curation. You can't curate and have guest sales. Not that guest sales aren't bad and haven't helped a ton of people out, and I've definitely benefited from a guest sale
Oh,
as
yeah, me
well.
too.
Yeah, but
Thank you, guest
there's no
sale.
point of to curate your group if you're gonna have a guest sale.
Shouts out to guest sales.
Me when I see guest sale.
Me at Sears buying Home Depot dogs.
All my homies love depot dogs.
But yeah, embargoes are weird.
It's such a complicated scene. like I couldn't even
is.
imagine like someone not knowing what's going on and listening to this podcast tonight and have any fucking clue, and probably still don't know it to this point what an embargo is
I would be
or what the
curious.
fuck we're talking about.
Before you outright said it, I actually hadn't thought super hard about how many possible reasons and effects that embargoes have. Like, just a couple are floating around in my brain, but like, there really is a lot of like possible outcomes from having an embargo and a lot of possible reasons for setting one in the first place.
Are there other communities that really have embargoes like this? Like, I have no idea.
That's a good
I
question.
can
I don't know.
imagine it would
I
be
can see
other
like the
bootleg communities.
like posters, T-shirts.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I was
posters.
gonna say, I
Yeah,
thought posters
the
did too.
poster ones definitely have embargoes, but then more so the embargo in the we want everyone to have them first.
I know the bootleg VHS scene is kind of similar to this, and then also like the bootleg ROM carts is
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of similar to this.
Yeah, ROM cards is one I was gonna say.
I'm gonna make bootleg keycaps that
Oh,
are
hell yeah.
embargo.
Keycaps
And
are
then-
so fucking cool.
Be the first embargoed bootleg keycap label.
You guys are
Oh my god,
leaking
the poster scene is
scene.
huge. I think it's
Yeah, the
been
poster-
around like forever too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
poster scene
too.
is probably I want the give me the documentary on that. There's some deep bootlegging
There's
poster.
a
scene
newer
lore.
verified member who's like super into the poster scene.
Oh, is there? Gotta talk to him
think
because I'm also one of them.
One of my mentees at Raging Erica.
Gotta take a look into that. Yeah, I just got there was a recent there was a Mob Psycho private commission that the artist posted on their social media, and the person running the private commission was like, I forgot to tell them not to post that before y'all had them in hand. Sorry about that.
Oh my god, Fish, that's me. I've totally paid money for a bootleg VHS tape. I bought one that
oh
is
yeah, I have a bootleg VHS tape. I've got a Akira VHS.
Ernest used to do like the intro to Splash
yeah.
Mountain at Disney. I have that
You
on
have a bootleg
VHS.
of that?
Yeah.
That's fucking pog.
It's like one of my most favorite tapes.
That's really funny.
I love Ernest. No one fucking loves Ernest more than me.
I've got a bootleg Twin Peaks DVD, but that's not like a. It was just a bad Chinese bootleg that someone found on the flea market.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I found a bootleg, like complete series of like Malcolm in the Middle for $1 at Goodwill a couple months back.
That's awesome.
Because they can't actually put that stuff on DVD because they can't get licensing right.
That's pretty cool.
I
I'm
just
glad
used to
that
love
the
Malcolm in the Middle.
back on embargo. I'm glad the big like wave of we gotta post it at midnight when it's lifted. Like, you know, of course, somebody who isn't around enough to see this giant flood of posts come out at once, you're not really notice it. If it's somebody who has a regular life and is also in the main Facebook group, just sees it on their feed, they'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty crazy." They're not gonna know. Oh, an embargo must have just been lifted. Like a lot of people that are in Maine aren't in any groups at all, so they're just
Yeah.
like, "Huh? I wonder why
Did you-
everyone's posting this." They don't understand. Oh yeah, there's an embargo on these releases, and then everybody rushes to clout post once it comes up. Like posting on Facebook's like, no. There's a way to post when things are unembargoed, and you know, Facebook is for me not it.
What's
There was a
Clout?
definite wave where it seems like there was a lot of that, where like there's a lot of like
Rushing to be first, or
there's
Post at
a
the
few month
drop
period
time?
last year. Yeah,
There was a couple people definitely known for that.
There sure
one
were.
that strikes my mind was from like 2.5, 3 years ago, and there was a lot of like breaking embargo memes. And honestly, no one even knew how they got all the releases like first, so they could like be the first to break embargo. Because obviously, you got to get it shipped early. All the boots come from overseas or at different points in the U.S., so it's not like you can consistently get them at the same time. You know, they don't all come from the same place. So for that person to like have gotten the vinyl early enough to be the first person to break it every single time was fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That is very crazy. They should just get rid of embargoes. No more embargoes.
Unembargo.
No more embargo.
That's it. I'm officially declaring no more embargoes.
Thank you, Joey.
So if you got in, if you got in,
Secret
Try
secrets
again.
are no fun. Secret
okay,
secrets hurt
all right.
someone.
I'm gonna unembargo something right now.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
here's the
And this
scoop.
is
You got
Joey's
exclusive.
community.
Oh,
It could
shit.
be anything, I'm sure.
Today I got an email. Big ass haunted mansion.
Yes.
Thank you
And
for
there we
that.
have it. Welcome to 2023.
First
Yay.
yes, talented mansion of the year, most likely, like anywhere,
Will it be the
on or
last?
on or off the podcast.
Wow, we really got deep into embargoes at 100 or fucking an hour and a half time. Jesus.
How about that?
And we could still go on about embargoes.
Yeah. Oh man, did I mess up in my little promo picture? I thought this was episode 60.
Fuck if I know. I might have it wrong.
Where are we?
Who are
Who
we?
are we?
It says number 59, but I think
We might be
should
on
be
60.
69.
I think
I put a little,
Earnest bootlegs when? Someone, if
soon.
I find out there's an earnest bootleg on embargo, I'm going on a murdering rampage.
Oh, I know what I did. Yeah, this is podcast number 60. Disregard the 59.
all right.
And with that,
Anything up? All right, great.
we are now embargoed. Good night.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Night. First
Good.
podcast.
All right.
It's been fun.
30 year, let's go.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
Pleasure at all as always.
Your number one embargoed podcast. Don't tell anybody about tonight.
It's
Bye,
classified.
everyone.
Eco Dogs 2023.